if you want to learn about how to run a business and make a quality product for people, you need to watch this show. Vernon shared a lot in that first show. The second show, we're really going to get into it. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. It's great being able to talk to business owners who literally, they're the ones making the decisions, running a business. I talk about it all the time. I wish I'd started my business when I was in my 20s rather than my mid-30s. And I was doing it, and then big world changes came around and went off to work for big companies again and did real well. But I love working for myself. It gives me that autonomy and really help do what I love. But tell me then, back as we finish up a little bit, that first question. If you missed it, like I said, you missed that first show, check out that first show. Vernon really shares a lot of great insight with us about what it is. True Pride Homes. Let me put that back up there for everybody. True Pride Homes, LLC. Pride in our work. TruePrideHomes.com, 314-435-6099. What's the biggest mistake people make is what we were talking about there. And cutting corners. And where do people try to cut corners the most? So that they end up, why you say that's a big problem, that people will instigate on, bring it on themselves.
I think a lot of people cut corners by not pulling permits and wanting to do all the work themselves. And then it's not that they have bad intentions, but, underbidding is a real thing. And then the problem lies with the rushing part. You're rushing things, you're slapping things together, you're putting 2 nails when it needs 8 nails, you're putting 4 screws in the drywall when it needs 8 screws. And you're just starting to get sloppy and falling off the list. And then when you leave, you realize, hey, look at that. I was able to cut the corners and the result was the same. And then there it goes, right? But down the road, it gets worse and worse and worse. And that's where I try to stay consistent in my quality.
Yeah, well, back to then, you do not want to cut corners because it ultimately costs you in the long run, because now you've got...
It doesn't only cost you, it costs me.
It costs everybody. Yeah, this is a bad situation for everybody. And so, but how often do you have the do-it-yourselfers, and they're literally like, oh, I can do that, or let me do the work. And I'm guilty of that. I've got buddies of mine, they want to come and do work, and I got involved. And I've done a little craftsman stuff, but it just gets in the way and causes more problems.
It does. Or they call me in the middle of a handrail or something, and they're like, hey, well, guess what? I got to fix your mistakes. So what the original cost was, it's probably that cost and a quarter more, because now I have to literally go behind you and fix every mistake you made and made it of quality and then tear your stuff down. So it becomes a bigger problem and it makes it harder on us. And it's better just to take all of it down and restart. Now, when it comes to do-it-yourselves after I leave, I've had customers ask me, hey, can you stop the floor here and then continue? How do I make this cut? How do I do this? How do I do that? Well, I will stay in contact with them, and I will describe how to do it and how to do it the right way, or show up and draw pictures on how to do it the right way. And I feel like that's what divides me and other people, because I love a good success story. And I like success around me. I don't like negativity or cutting people down or making people feel less than.
Yeah, that's a key to life. I mean, they talk about true happiness is those people who help others. That's why teachers who don't make a lot of money seem to be very happy. But what are the couple of, if you could say there's any specific tasks or projects that people can do, what parts of projects can people do themselves?
Oh, the floating floor you can do yourself. Typically, sometimes I see them wanting to paint by themselves, but that's about it. It's a very simplistic, because obviously they can build an entertainment center themselves. You can really do anything you want by yourself, but you're paying for the quality, the speed, the craftsmanship, and the professionalism of a company to come in and just do it right, because you're too busy, or you like to start projects and not finish them.
How often is that the case? So often people do get started, and they kind of realize.
Well, it's funny. I don't come across too much, but I do come across couples that end up using us for the floor, because they'll look at each other, and she was like, last time it took you 2-3 months to do the floor. And he's like, yeah, it did, when it takes me 2 days to do your floor. So you're paying for the convenience and for it to get done right away, because like I said, we like that instant gratification, and nobody wants to walk on a half-finished floor for 2 months.
Well, how often is it the case? They literally they're costing themselves. What are you good at? Well, do what you're good at, and let us do what we're good at. Because by the time you've taken 4 times as long to get this done, you could have gone off and done what I deal at with my own production here. It's like, what am I doing? Tasks that are not in my wheelhouse when I've got the things that we can do to produce something. You want to do what you're good at.
Yeah, absolutely. And people sometimes will want to rush you through jobs, but I tend to tell them it's going to get done when it gets done because I'm going to do it the right way, and I'm not rushing through.
Good policy to have there. Residential is your primary. You're getting into the commercial world a little bit.
Slowly peeling that back, but I have to do some more networking in order to get into that field.
What do you enjoy so much about residential?
I enjoy residential because they wake up and they see it every single day. When I leave, I know you guys look at my work, and when I show up the next day and you have nothing to say about it, then that's a cahoots to me. That's a thumbs up for me.
No problems, no issues.
No issues, no problems, and that's what I love.
Whenever you have problems, you're definitely going to hear about it, especially when we're talking about someone's home and the work that goes in there. So tell me that. I can imagine by now you've been doing this for so long. Give me an example of a time when you had a client that was in a tough situation and you had to go out of your way to help somebody.
I haven't had too many clients in tough situations. I've more helped them out of situations that they get into after I leave.
Okay, tell me about that.
And like I said, flooring, painting, getting to places that are too high. They'll start to paint a handrail and not realize all the work that it goes into painting a handrail, because you look at a handrail and you're like, oh, this is easy. I will never pay that much. And then you start painting it yourself and you're like, oh, wow, there is so much to this.
A lot of the detail that goes into those.
There's a lot of detail that goes into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and if you want to make this look like, you can tell when somebody's done work themselves.
Yeah, I've had, it's mostly like painting cabinets. They're halfway done with the cabinets and they're having bleeding issues or something like that. Then I have to call in my painter and make it right. And like I said, it costs a little bit more money than just hiring us originally, because we're going to go over your old paint and we're going to do it the right way. And we're not going to take a risk that you did it the right way, whether it may look right or not.
There you go. Tell me that, what's the big challenge you've been through as a business owner? Somebody starting a business? Probably some things that made you stronger, you learn from?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about starting a business is communication. Getting 6 phone calls a day while being on the job site. Knowing when the job site or job is going to be complete in order to schedule the next job. Staying in touch, emails, promoting. It's a lot. And when you're busy, you're getting all these phone calls a day. People want your, service, and you can't get to everybody, and you just have to realize that, because if you want to get to everybody, the quality goes down because you're just starting that rushing process again. And you just have to realize that you have to pick and choose your customers wisely. And it's no offense to you guys at all. It's just being new in business, it's hard to serve everybody. Like
life, pick and choose your clients like you pick and choose your friends wisely. You said that. I appreciate that, because how often in our life we're jumping ahead, we're trying to get things done, and when you rush anything, that generally is not a good policy.
It's not a good policy.
All right, let's show off a little bit of the work here. We talked about it, but there's lots of great images. We're going to kind of just scroll through these and have Vernon tell me what he likes about each one of these, and we'll bounce back and forth and listen to him as we get into it. But tell me, I'm on your Facebook here. We're towards the top. Mm-hmm. I'm going to jump over to the wall here. We've got the TV wall and that rendering. But you said this is real recent. This is a carpet job?
This is a carpet job out in Frontenac that my carpet guys did. It's an awesome theater room. We moved. They moved all the furniture out and laid this zebra carpet that the customer picked, and it was awesome.
Yeah, zebra carpet. That is a cool looking design there. But
it's tricky on the stairs because there's steps there that you don't see, so that would be a rough one. But it's what the customer wanted, and they got what they wanted.
Yeah, and it looks dynamite. You can see that from all different angles. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody's got their temperament and what they like. But I don't think I've ever seen zebra covered floor before. But they're wild. Literally. Tell me about this one.
This is shutters we just recently did. So this is in my neighborhood, Castle Pines. Castle Pines literally built my company because they love using people within the neighborhood. And the guy had green shutters. They were horrible looking. They made the house age. I came in, gave him black shutters. I got it done within a few hours. And he was like, wow, that was fast. And I said, well, it used to take me all day, but through experience and hard work, we've learned how to take care of it in about 2-3 hours. And he was very pleased.
Yeah, that's a good looking house there. And when you talk about the shutters on a house, those are things that kind of set a house apart and make it pop.
It did.
And there you see different angles there and different.
And there's the old ones at the top.
Yeah, those green ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the difference. More carpet. Tell me.
So this is a house out in Frontenac. He is a great customer. Super fun to work with. We're actually doing a bar in this house as well. The bar I did not put in the picture because it is not fully complete yet, but this is the first step, which was the carpet, and it turned out real good. The baseboards used to be green, so we're going to have a painter come in and touch up the baseboards where the carpet kind of went under. But it turned out really good. It was a home run. It was a great success.
So this is a big room. You can see all the work that's been done.
It was big.
Yeah, there's lots that went into this one. He's got a pretty good sized entertainment area and lots of carpet there, miles and miles. There's this as it's been.
These were handrails.
Okay.
That we did. I did all the flooring in this house as well. So we pulled the floor up, and that was the old
Got the
carpet
after
handrails, and then we took them all out. We painted them. We put the treads on, put new kickers on, and got that all finished up to match his flooring. Unfortunately, the handrails, he didn't want to go with new handrails, and the color was too light to sand down and restain. We're not going to take a risk on restaining and getting blotches in our stain, so we painted the handrails a brown color.
Nice looking work there, and more into what you get to do there. But tell me then, as we scroll through here, went back to our menu there. But are these part of that same job there you're talking about?
Yep, that is the finished product.
And that's what you get when you get a finished looking handrail. How many hours of work does it take for a job like that?
That took about a week and a half.
A week and a half just for that job. And how many steps was that, or how was it? What was the overall?
I think it was like 13 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it was about 16 steps altogether. So all those are new treads that you see on there.
Okay. Yeah.
And the same spindles, and then everything's repainted.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. And so many jobs like that.
It's night and day.
Yeah. There it is. You can see as the work got completed there, you're painting and making everything fit. And then that is a night and day difference between.
This was a whole. Originally, I made the post and I said, "Can anybody find the patch job in the ceiling?" And nobody commented. And that's the finished product. After she had water damage that went above the light and in the bay window, and we finished all that.
Wow. Yeah. Again, cabinets, kitchen stuff. Cabinets are a craftsman expertise.
Yes. So I have a custom woodworking guy who came in and did all this. It was awesome. That's Osage orange bench. For that Osage orange right there, that's probably $2,300 worth of Osage orange. And we buy it by the pallet, so it was no extra cost to use it. So you get something unique right there.
Very cool. Yeah, you can see, wow, these cabinets look dynamite. And finish up here with a bathroom. That's a great looking bathroom.
So those were back-to-back bathrooms I did. We reglazed the tub on this one and tiled all that. He had water issues. And the plumber says, hey, it ain't the pipes. It's the drywall behind the tile. So we ripped it out and we just did that area. And then I put 2 LED lights at the top.
Okay.
Up there, yes. Nice. And got rid of the boob light and then repainted the ceiling and reglazed that tub and redid that tub. And I just got done doing the floor, which I haven't posted yet, and putting a new toilet in there.
Nice. Okay. Lots of great work here, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to share a little bit more of our fun community stuff. Josh Grayson came in town, everybody, and worked with one of our favorite organizations, Little Patriots Embrace. Check it out.
He's a credible supplier, so we have a lot of stuff to do in the community. But it's good to work with the great organizations like we have here. So give it up for Little Patriots Embrace, everybody. And while you're at it, give a shout out to yourselves for showing up tonight to support such an awesome organization. You guys are great. What a nice turnout tonight. And I'm going to turn off that music. Good job. All our military families. Isn't that pretty cool? I mean, you think about it. We got troopers going out there, men and women going out there to protect our country, but what do they do with the children? And there's no specific funding for that, right? The military people get paid a little bit for what they do, but families need some help. So Carol's made this much for 20. Congratulations, Carol. Good job. Thank you. With that, I'd like to introduce the founder of Little Patriots Embrace, Carol Watanabe. Come on up here, Carol. Carol's just saying that.
I'm just standing up here, barely able to speak because I had lost my voice. I was in Dallas, Texas the last couple of days, and I was at another big event and came home and I didn't have a voice. I'm just getting it back and I'm leaving on a flight at 9 a.m. to another really important activity. And I've got to have a voice, so I'm not going to talk very long. But I just want to thank all of you for being here and thank our sponsors for coming through for us this year. We have over 1,000 military children waiting for a deployment package. Their parents have deployed. And we had no way to serve them. And now we do, because everyone's sitting in these chairs. And I thank you for that.
Yay.
Thank you, Carol. You're an amazing job running an awesome work. I've been working with Carol now since 2013. So my first event with her was on the field at Busch Stadium. Now batting for team, whichever. And the different spots.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! There you go. And I tell you, gold is going crazy. Check that out. They've got people that say, "Hey, we're not going to work with you." They say, if you've got $10,000 or more, give us a call, which is code for, we're not going to work with you unless you got $10,000. But get into the gold world. It has really emerged, especially over here the last year or so. It's going kind of crazy. But the historic value of gold has been amazing. If you just study that a little bit, you can see where gold has outperformed the S&P. Good information for you. But that leads us into media and how the whole media world has changed. I talk about my book here that I wrote the foreword for, yours truly. But Magnetize Your Media, #1 seller on Amazon. You can see right there, written by the Cardinal Cowboy, the intro there. And it just, technology has made the world go round. But if you want to learn about how to magnetize your media, that's what this show is really all about. We help small business owners keep up with the big guys and beat them a lot of times because you're dealing with the owners directly. But tell me, how has technology in general changed the way you do business, and what impact has it had on the way things are done for you, Vernon?
Well, AI has changed the game as in artificial intelligence estimating.
So
I can put a, estimate in and put the general idea of it, and then it shoots out all the numbers, competitive numbers, so I'm not overpricing or underpricing, and I can come under some people, stuff like that. Also, the way the websites, Facebook, technology has really gone a long way. So as a general contractor new in the game, it's all about trust. So it works, but it doesn't work for us because customers have to trust us because sometimes we're in their house when they're not home. So we have to build that relationship, and that's why a lot of people don't want to go online and just find any general contractor or any home remodeling company, because it's all about the trust. That's why they look for the good reviews, and they want referrals and people that stand behind those referrals and say, yes, they're trustworthy, they're great, they work with you, and you can trust them in your home.
very important. Tell me then, by now people are going, I want to work with this guy. What's the process? Walk me through what somebody does. They get a hold of you, go through your website, reach out to you, talk to you, and then
they get a hold of me. I'll show up without a designer, and we go through the process. I write everything down, the square footage of their bathroom, kitchen, basement, whatever they want, and then I go over the specifics. If they want a bathroom, if they want it roughed in, where they're electric, the lighting, the paint color, everything, and then I write the estimate up.
Generally,
and
how
then
long?
send it out to them.
Okay, yeah. So you'll go back to do the estimate, and is it a day, 2 days,
A week.
Depends. Takes a week.
Yeah, I'm speeding that process up, but it generally takes a week because we are really, really busy, which is a blessing, especially this time of the year around Christmas.
Yeah. Well, these it gets busy, and people want to have stuff. I want it done by Christmas. I want it done by the holidays.
We have a lot of that, and I am going through a lot of that. And as of right now, I am booked up until Christmas right now.
Okay.
Because everybody wants it done before Christmas right now.
All I want for Christmas is a brand new kitchen, a basement, and a bathroom. That's exciting. Well, tell me, what's the biggest question? What's the biggest objection that people have? Is it always about price? What is it that most people are concerned with?
Well, if you do good work, the price doesn't always matter, because if it's guaranteed, they're willing to pay the extra money. They just have to believe it with their own eyes and see it through other referrals and customers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get a lot. Yeah, the price is a concern, but yeah, when you see the quality, people are going, "Hey, this is something that's going to add to the value of my home. I don't want to cut corners. I tell me what it takes to get this done correctly." Is that kind of?
That's exactly how it goes, And I say, if you feel unprotected or worried about the job or me, I have no problem pulling permits and going through the county and city or whatever we're in order to show you that I'm the real deal, and you can trust me.
Permits are an important piece. A lot of people don't realize that's just there to protect everybody. And tell me, what gives you the most satisfaction when the job is done? At the end of the day, what do you love most about what you do?
What I love most about what I do is somebody gets to wake up and live in that area for, the next 10, 20 years. And it's just beautiful. It's that end result. It's the pictures I take before I leave. It's all the hard work and dedication you've put all these years into doing. And you get to see it done in real life, real time, and say, I did that, Saying, I've probably framed 1,000 houses, and I love driving down in Winsville and going, built that neighborhood. It's the same thing. It's just inside of a house, But you can't always just knock on somebody's door and see the inside, which is why we take pictures. It's just pictures don't do it justice. It's like going and seeing the most beautiful mountain and taking a picture. It just doesn't do it justice as real life.
Good
And
example
that's a euphoric feeling that I chase.
Yeah, it's a kind of the high you get from just doing a great job and
Yeah.
seeing the work that's been done and seeing the smile on a
Absolutely.
customer's face. You do a little contribution. You have particular. You talked about a dementia charity that you worked with recently, and how you kind of contribute.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Yeah,
Is that important
and
to you?
it is important to me. So is addiction awareness and all that stuff. I think we all, where most of us suffer from addiction, which can lead to violence and homelessness and things like that. And we don't really mean it. We're just trying to feed ourselves. And then you've got mental health issues that need to be assessed and for everybody to be okay. And I'm really passionate about that outside of the general contracting I do, because I want everybody's a human being, and everybody should be treated with respect and treated like a human being. And just to forget about somebody because they're crazy or have a mental health issue or have an addiction is not fair, because most of that stuff is treatable today.
Yeah, we're all going to go through something. Going through my coma and everything I went through, I can understand.
And today I have, I'm 11 years sober, so, I've also suffered from addiction and a heavy, hard lifestyle. And I am so happy now that I'm sober. I wouldn't change it for anything, and I wish it upon everybody.
Great that you share that. It's a lot to have gone through, and I know it for the people who've struggled with addiction.
I have no shame admitting of what I used to be and what I am now, because it's awesome.
Congratulations on that, and for running a successful business. We've got about a minute left here. We'll jump back in and you had a couple highlights you wanted me to show off a little bit here. I'm going to go to the Y camera. These are all on your social media. Stop me. Should I go back up? Where was it?
Go down a little bit. This was a good one right there.
Okay, this bathroom.
Yeah, this bathroom was awesome. It was very small tile on the ground, as you can see, and the tile and the backsplash. And we got that one, and then another one, bathroom that I did. This was the beginning product. As you can see, it was very outdated, the old jacuzzi tub and everything, and let's go over. And then that was the new vanity, and then you can go over again. That's the tub we put in the corner. That turned out real good. That's actually a jacuzzi tub, and then we put this wonderful shower in, and it turned out really good. And then that was the water closet, because they, as a couple, it was an open concept, and they didn't want to go to the bathroom in front of each other anymore. So we built them a water closet in that corner. So that turned out really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vernon Millaway. He's got some expertise and has done a great job. Stay tuned for more. Check out both interviews. Here's an expert in our community making a difference. Stay tuned. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.